Okay, welcome back to segment 3. Let me adjust here. There we go. So let's continue at this time with phrasal verbs about free time. We were talking about hang out and chill out. These are definitely slang expressions commonly used by young people, but appropriate for adults also in informal situations. So let's go to the second phrasal verb, catch up or catch up on. So you notice the pronunciation sounds like ketchup, as in the condiment. So catch up on. Let's give an example first and see if you can take a guess. It's been a long time since we've seen each other. Let's catch up over a cup of joe. Okay, so I'm combining two expressions here. So let's catch up. I'm sure you have heard this before. In fact, I have heard some of you use this expression. So what is it? It means to share personal news after a long time apart. So if I meet a friend suddenly somewhere and I have not seen them for a long time, I might say, hey, let's catch up. We need to talk and find out all the news about our lives. Okay, so catch up. The third one, get together. Get together. You notice that because I have two T's, get and then together, I'm going to combine this sound, get together, get together. So the second T will have more stress. Get together. Okay, so to meet with someone socially or plan a gathering. Example, let's get together this Friday. Are you free? Okay, so commonly used phrasal verb, get together. I look forward to maybe someday we can get together again. The fourth one, come around. Come around. Or quickly, come around. Okay, the basic meaning is to visit or stop by. Example, my neighbor sometimes comes around to say hello or drop some food by. So another expression is a social call. Call, not in this sense, but a visit, a social visit. Come around. Has anyone come around to your house during the quarantine, or have you been mostly alone or isolated? I'm just curious to know. Okay, now the next one is a little bit funny. Chow down, chow down. So chow down means to eat quickly and aggressively. So fast and eat a lot. Example, Americans like to chow down at all-you-can-eat buffets. I have noticed after living in Atlanta, there are many buffet restaurants here. Have you noticed that? Before the coronavirus, my husband and I often went to a Korean buffet to chow down on Korean barbecue and the side dishes. So chow down, eating quickly. Okay. And the last phrasal verb on this page, we have be into. Now, the word to be, as you know, can take many forms. He's into, I'm into, I am into, they're into, they are into. So the basic meaning is to have an interest or a hobby. Okay, so example, I'm really into shopping and exploring quaint little towns. Quaint meaning cute and charming. So, what are you into? What are you into? So it's your hobby. So basically, what do you like to do in your free time? All right, let's practice pronunciation once more. Hang out. Chill out. Okay. Catch up or catch up on. Get together. Come around. Chow down. And be into. Be into. All right. Okay, now a few more idioms that we can talk about. These are very, well, the first one especially is very informal. A few of them are kind of expressions, but all commonly used. So the first one is shoot the breeze. Shoot the breeze. Okay, so to relax, carefree, as if outside on a pleasant afternoon. Okay, example. Wow, you look relaxed today. Are you shooting the breeze? Or are you shooting the breeze today? You notice that I used the reduction form, shootin', no G. Shootin', shootin'. Okay, now we know that the one word shoot with a gun, this is a different meaning. Not talking about using a gun, thankfully. The feeling is, however, I'm sitting outside, I'm relaxing. So the mental image is usually in the outdoors, but it could also be indoors if you're using this to describe relaxation. Okay, the second expression, grab some munchies and hit the road. Okay, you know the expression road trip? Road trip, meaning you take a trip only by car. It's very common in the USA because most people have a car, and there are a lot of national and state parks that people like to take a tour by car and drive around the country. So this expression is relating to a road trip. So we know grab, the word grab is quickly get something. So what about munchies? Okay. This action of chewing is munching. Okay. So basic meaning, prepare snacks and leave on a road trip with friends. Example, let's grab some munchies at 7-Eleven and hit the road. We've got 10 states to see by next week. The feeling is that they are taking a road trip and they're trying to go to as many states in 1 week as possible. Okay, so grab some munchies and hit the road. The third one, take part in or take part in, American style pronunciation. So take part in an activity. This is when we use this expression. So the meaning is to join an event or social gathering. Example, I like to take part in community festivals every season. For example, Duluth Fall Festival. I like to take part in festivals. What do you like to take part in? Okay. Fourth expression, footloose and fancy free. Okay, this is definitely an expression, and it might be a little bit older expression. So it implies being light and happy on your feet, like dancing. So I don't know if you like dancing, but people often feel happy to exercise through dancing. So you might remember in the 1980s, there was a famous movie called Footloose, and also a pop music song, Footloose. So the whole movie is about dancing. So example, I just finished my exam. Now I'm footloose and fancy free. Let's go out. Okay, so footloose and fancy free. Usually, if you have completed something difficult or challenging, and now you want to celebrate, you might say this expression, I feel footloose and fancy free. We are footloose and fancy free. They look footloose and fancy free. The last expression on this page is guilty pleasure. Guilty pleasure. So, something you enjoy with a little bit of guilt. Maybe it's a kind of secret pleasure. Maybe people know you enjoy this. Maybe it's a hobby you really like. Maybe it's a little bit of chocolate. So, example, chocolate every afternoon is my guilty pleasure. I confess. So, do you have a guilty pleasure? So this is a common expression, and you see the picture on the bottom right. It says, I am a chocoholic. So anybody else? Are you a chocoholic or something else? Okay, so some idioms that we have talked about: shoot the breeze, grab some munchies and hit the road, take part in, footloose and fancy free, and finally, guilty pleasure. Okay, so let's continue. So, we have introduced vocabulary that we will see in the listening part, lesson A. We have talked about quite a few idioms and informal expressions. We have talked about some phrasal verbs which relate to free time. So now let me ask you some questions that you can think about first, and then call your conversation partner or do a video chat and let me know. Let me know about this practice. I appreciate hearing how you are practicing. All right, practice makes perfect. So the first question, if you could have a cup of joe or shoot the breeze with anyone famous, who would it be? Okay. Would you choose a world leader, maybe a famous movie star or a musician that you like? Think about this question. Second one, What social activities are you into? And what do you miss taking part in these days? I'm sure a lot of things you must be missing. Or maybe you have slowly started to go out again. The third question, what's your guilty pleasure? Something you enjoy doing with maybe a little bit of guilt. And the last question, if you could book a round trip ticket to anywhere in the world right now, where would it be? Okay, so I'm going to move this here so we can see the image here. If you won a dream vacation, where would you go? And then another question I have been hearing a lot is after the coronavirus is gone, where is the first place you would like to go? I think I just added another question. Okay, so take a note of these questions. You can pause the screen for a moment, and I hope that you will use these to talk with your conversation partner. Okay, now at this time, I would like to remind you once again about vocabulary we have introduced. So for a moment, I'm going to pull out our Ventures book and remind you about some words or expressions, okay? Book a flight. Book a flight. Maybe on an airplane, you should book a flight. Okay, so book, if you took your guess already, means to make a reservation on a plane. Get a plane ticket. Camping, using a tent, sleeping outdoors. Days off, meaning no work, no work. Discounts means what? A sale, reduced price. Nowadays, many websites are having discount sales to stay in business. What about exhausted? Exhausted. Very tired. Very tired. Figure out. Think about carefully. Decide what to do. Figure out. Reserve, in this case, a verb, means to make a reservation. Maybe a restaurant. Okay, round trip means coming and going. So round trip ticket. It's not a one-way ticket. It means to and from. Round trip. Finally, tax relating to money. Georgia has cheaper or less tax than California. This is a good thing for me. And finally, tourist. Tourist, a person who travels or takes a tour. All right, I think you have probably heard all of the vocab words before. All right, and at this time, why don't we take a few moments to skim? Now, if you have your green color book, look at page 122. There goes the alarm, sorry. If you look at page 122, you will see pictures that relate to free time and travel. So why don't you take a moment and look at page 122 so you can make a prediction, take a guess. What do you think our first listening topic will be about? All right, we have the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. We have an airplane. We have a beautiful hotel picture. And we have a picture of camping and the beautiful outdoors. So I hope that you will enjoy the conversation with your partner. I hope that you took some notes for these words and examples. And so at this time, we will pause. If I can find the cursor, pardon me. There it is. We will pause at this time and come back on day 2 to begin lesson A. So I will see you later.